Good evening, everybody. It's Thursday. It's the 21st of July 2022. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's all going right on right now, right this minute. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are out there in Cyberland. We love a bit of Cyberland, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or magically tuned into this broadcast from somewhere where we just don't know about. We don't care. We're going to be talking about this week, guys and girls, about the Hoover Dam and how you can fold a certain dollar bill in America. It's all hocus pocus. It's all magic. You can fold a dollar bill in thingy, and it shows you the Hoover Dam exploded. Man, I'm telling you. And the Simpsons, my word, they make some predictions in the Simpsons. Let me tell you, uncanny predictions. But I'm waiting for my co-host to turn up. He's having he's moved and he's having technical issues. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be in here very, very soon. Talk to the devil, and it appears like piff paff poof. It's on the screen. Hello, Michael.
Sit down. Sorry, I'm having a bit of problem down there.
But you got Prince Andrew around?
Yeah, I've got something wriggling down there, but it's too big to talk about.
Have you ain't got Prince Andrew round, have you?
No, I've met him twice.
Do you know this week, right? We've had the hottest day of the year, and he was doing public duties, and because he can't sweat, he's had to sit in the chest freezer while he's shaking people's hands, and because he can't sweat. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's got a thing about sitting in small places with people, hasn't he? But we don't talk about that, really, do we?
Well, it's quite nice if you got a mother that bungs you 12 million.
Well, yeah, get him out of trouble. Absolutely. I mean, what sort of guy? Yeah, I met him actually, and he was really nice to me, but. You don't know then what you know now, but he's
yeah, mate. How you doing, darling? You're looking as sexy as ever.
Well, yes. Well, it's been. I mean, I was out and about, and guy. It was 40 degrees. A guy, or 38, where it was. A guy came up and he said to me, "Ain't you fucking hot?" I said, "No, I'm not actually." I said, "It's just nice." I said, "My mum was alive, and if it was over 30 degrees, she would take a cardigan off." So he said, "Oh, how can you live?" I said, "Well, I lived abroad in hot countries." He went, "What is it as hot as that there?" I went, "Yeah, you haven't been to the desert, you know." And he went, "Oh, well, you know how it is." I said, "No, I don't know how it is. How is it for you?" He said, "It's too hot." So why are you out then? So you might get the milk. So I thought there's no point in pursuing this. So I said, "Well, you should wear a hat anyway." I had a hat on, and I always wear a hat anyway. But so yeah, and he went on his merry way, poor sod. But there you go. Anyway, how are you? What's you been up to? Have you finished your little? Oh, you've gone. Oh, I don't know if I'm still talking to myself or I'm talking on my own. Oh, how worrying. Oh, everyone can see me, but
that's it.
Can you see? Sorry, Dave. You're back. You're very. I don't know whether you could hear me. Whether I was just sort of holding things together while you were absent for your whatever you were doing down there. I saw your hands moving vigorously, but we don't talk about that in public.
Hands on display, darling. Hands on display.
Yeah, it's like sooty and sweet nude, isn't it? But
yeah, mate.
Anyway, so what sort of week have you had, darling? Before we talk about
yeah, not too bad. Well, yeah, I finished my bathroom, and I've been focusing on learning a lot about this whole UCC business, and basically how to sort of get on a level pegging with the system. Now, we're all shying away from this birth certificate, and maybe in some ways that's a good thing. But I'm lending my mind now to the fact that if I'm taking it into a courtroom, or I'm letting people know that I'm the beneficiary of that trust, because I'm the living, breathing side of it, and that's what this book is telling us all about. We are, because we're the living and we're the breathing, we're the beneficiary of that trust. So yeah, I'm leaning into it now and thinking, well, anyone wants a bit of me, I'm going to let them know I am the living beneficiary of that trust, and who the flipping hell are they to come and ask me for this, that, the other? There's no one that can make a claim above me. Yesterday in Charing Cross Police Station, many patriots, Mark Sexton, the retired Metropolitan Policeman, they went and lodged something in Charing Cross Police Station with regards to the COVID-19 bits and bobs that's going on. I'm very careful with what I'm using my words because we're going out on YouTube and Facebook. We don't want to censor ours, and we know they love to censor us. But they all got harangued in there, and the ASPs was out. The people were getting a right old beating. But it's just, I think, we're at a point now where people in this country, they're starting to see what the police are and what they're getting up to. They would, this one policeman, because he didn't like what Mark Sexton was saying and what he wanted to do, he's literally just grabbed him and bullied him into. I mean, I don't get that mentality, Michael. And the thing is, these buildings are supposed to be our buildings. They're supposed to be for the people, by the people. They're not supposed to be in private corporate hands. They're just not supposed to be. But yes, it all kicked off in Charing Cross, mate. So to all of you that went yesterday, God bless you all, and I hope you got home safe and you didn't have any bruises and scars. They're fucking dickheads, the old Bill, aren't they?
Well, I mean, they are a corporation. They're not there for our benefit. They're there for the benefit of the government and everybody's a private army. It's the Praetorian Guard, isn't it? And we've got no recourse on them. The police don't seem to give a toss about us. I mean, if you ring them up and say, I've been burgled, they say, we'll give you, there's a number. So what number is that? It's a crime number, so you can claim on your insurance. To be honest with you, Dave, I think I've said this many times, because of what goes on now, I mean, in Kent now, they're telling them there's no water. Why are we paying water rates? Why are we paying us? They're still going to charge the same amount of money. Are they going to give us a discount on that? No, they're not. So if you phone the police and they don't come out, you can't get an ambulance, but we pay. So we pay for ambulances, we pay for the police. Fire brigade are pretty good, and they will come out. They're really good boys, and they're brave, and and they're not stupid, and they're kind, and they're considerate, and they do show compassion to people. But the other people, like doctors who don't want to work at night, don't want to work. GPs, people being offered £1,000 a day to fill the gaps. I mean, it's just extraordinary that we're putting up with this. And what are these people? Why are we paying these extraordinary amounts of council tax when we're not getting the services? I mean, I don't have any children at school, but I have to pay for school education. Fair enough. But I mean, so that's a given. But the teachers don't want to go to school. The teachers don't want to do anything. The doctors don't want to do anything. The National Health Service is a shambles. I mean, we've all said it time and time again. It's got to go, and it's got to be rebuilt in a way that's affordable. And we feel that we're getting value for money, because it's not just about chucking money at something. I mean, if they want to waste money, give it to us, me and you. We can do lots of good things with it, And I could buy myself, I could drink myself to death. But that'd be so much more interesting than sitting there waiting for someone to ring up, say, ring for 2 hours trying to get through on the telephone line, like we did in Staplehurst. But I have to say, here in West Malling, the practice here is entirely different. If you go up there and queue from 8:15, you will be seen at some point. You will be seen, and they're pretty good, and they're very kind, and very cooperative. And I was astonished at just how good they are. Now that's my first time I had communication with them. I haven't got time to lost my temper yet. So as we all do, but you don't want to lose your temper with them. There's no point. But so basically, what I'm saying is that what are we paying for? Why are we paying all these council tax? And now we had this conversation before, but why you shouldn't pay it, and what it's for, what it is, and what it is. It's a tax. It's a tax on us as human beings. We pay, I think 56% of all the money we earn is taxed. I mean, there's a list of, I think, about 70 taxes we pay through the course of that we not aware of. Everything we do is tax. So it's getting to the point now, if you're paying 56% of your money in tax, and you're on, say, on £100 a week, you're actually living on 44 quid a week. So if that's what the government think we're worth, that's great. But I do feel now council tax has to be taken. And if I had the money, if I won that 190 million quid, I would be doing the police for breach of contract. I would be doing the National Health for breach of contract, because they are not giving us the service we're paying for. And that is in breach of the money. They have a contract with us. And that's what we pay for. As taxpayers and ratepayers and everything else, we are entitled to the service we're paying for. And if they're not giving us that, I mean, like you, Dave, you're a plumber, the second best plumber, nearly the first best plumber in Kent. If you started a job and then said, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore, they'd either do one or two things. They send the boys round, or they sue you. And why would they sue you? Because you started a job and you haven't finished it. You took the money, but you haven't finished it. So you've been breach of contract. So why is it that the police, ambulance services, the NHS, All these services we pay for are in breach of contract, in which case we have a case, they have a case to answer, surely. I don't know what people here think or are watching this, but but I'll be interested to hear what they say. But I do really think, and at some point, we're all limited companies now, that if we can get enough people together and put in, say, even if we've got 1,000 people, we put in 100, put 1,000 quid in. That's 100 grand. That's 100 grand. Well, that's £1 million. But even if they put 100 quid, it's 100 grand. We could get them into court. And we can't lose. How can you lose when you've got a cast iron case of negligence and breach of contract? Surely.
Well, you can lose if you've got a biased judiciary and you've got a biased court system. And I guess it all comes down to the essence of knowing what the judiciary is, what laws they're operating under, what their agendas are. Now, these are the things that we're finally, after all these years, figuring out. We know the courts are just a business. We know they're a swindle. We know there is no right done in these places. We can, in some instances, get it if we know how to play our cards right. Actually, funnily enough, this book is fabulous for going into a court, because the two things it says in here about what you do when you go into court, and they've got 100% success rates, is that you just reserve all your rights under UCC 1-308, and every time they ask you what your name is, where do you live, all you say is, I do not understand. And then you're going to be walking. They will not be able to lay a finger on you. Not one. And this book is for £4, guys. Let me tell you, the UCC connection. Everyone's under UCC. How to free yourself from legal tyranny. And it says here, which is a biblical verse, happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that getteth understanding. That's Proverbs 3:13. Look, I've just downloaded from a site today called successors.ca a pack which you can read this pack and all the bits that come with it, and then you can go to these governments and say, this is this, and then they re-establish you as a living individual. But basically, the government cannot claim to own anything because it's not theirs to own, nor is it the Queen's to own. So if nobody owns anything, and the government certainly don't own anything, what the hell's going on? Why are we in this quagmire? Why are we in this desperate situation? Why have we got kids dying because they can't get cancer operations, or they can't get seen by their GP when they're not feeling well? You would like to think that the NHS was full of people with warm hearts. So I ask and I implore to them, if you've got a warm heart and your directors of that NHS are telling you to do things that you're not happy with, start saying no. Start saying no. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not prepared. So if you're in the police and they're saying to you, you can whack them around the head, you can do what you like. It's time for you all to start saying, no, that's not acceptable. We're not doing that. And instead of just following orders, because when we all just follow orders, we end up in a very, very dark place.
The thing is, Dave, what's gone wrong terribly is money. Everybody, all they did, it used to be when I was a kid. Well, I'm probably having a lot of people watching this, but when I was a kid, Miller Hospital in Greenwich. Remember Miller Hospital, Greenwich?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Long gone. It was my first hospital I went into. I had my tonsils out, and I remember being in there, and the first thing when you got in there is how cool it was, how spotlessly clean it was, and how professional the nurses were. And it wasn't about being friendly, it was about doing their job, and they enjoyed doing their job. What's gone around, I fear, I'm not suggesting that all nurses and doctors are the same, but the general consensus of opinion is now that doctors are not interested in their patients. All they're interested in is their 125 grand a year. Oh, we don't get anything like that. No, you're right. You probably get 200 grand because all you do, you charge more for doing less. So and they're encouraged to do less, because they know if they do less, they'll get more money for doing more. So it's a cycle that's going on and on and on. So it's relentless. So what I'm saying is that the profession, which was nursing, doctors, and all the things they do with the NHS, like everything else, like the police, and have all become about money. It's not about enforcing the law. It's not about making people well. It's about, I go to work as a nurse to earn money. Well, that's not basically why you should be going to work as a nurse. You know, you go to work, it's a profession. Doctors take a Hippocratic oath, and they're all hypocrites. So, or a lot of them are, and I say that quite. You know, I don't say that. I say that with a heavy heart because you know I don't want doctors to be like. So I know, and you know, I know lots of nurses, you know, who have been absolutely brilliant. But at the same time, you're losing that because a lot of people in this country now have come from other countries. They've got a different attitude to nursing and doing doctors, and we know that people coming from abroad do not share our values, and that's the fact.
When I was reading through these documents on this successors site, you've got to pay for it. It's only 20 quid, and that's it. You're in forever then. But they got the Land Patents Act, the Law of Property Act, but it goes through a history portion, and it says that after the 1066 conquest, around about this time period, where the French law had to settle in with the Roman mercantile and find some sort of common ground. One thing that they did do, now whether this was right or wrong, and I'm not anti-Semitic, and I hate even the words anti-Semitic because it means you can't talk about things, and I've got Jewish family members as well. But it said what they did was because the Jews at the time were taking over this country and bringing usury in, they kicked them all out and they never let them back in for 350 years. Now, we're not taught this in history. See, this is where we learn things in history. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody as long as they're doing good. But when, and we do seem to be in a big time usury system right now. And I think this is why we're at where we're at, because we've let the money changers and the money lenders do what they're doing to us. Now, this Bitcoin thing that we've been all talking about the last few weeks potentially has a fabulous way of maybe getting rid of this usury system. Because if, let's say, for instance, you had 2 million people in this country tomorrow that just left a few quid in their normal bank account, which is the fiat, and then they transferred everything over to their Bitcoin and then offered to pay everybody in Bitcoin, because then it's going to become a proper thing. We know that these corporations and that can't accept it because it leaves this big digital signal and they can't spend it because we know it shows up their nefarious activities. But that one thing alone, bringing us back to a commodity-based monetary system, which this original Bitcoin is, can and be the turning over of the tables of the money lenders. It really can.
Yeah, there is. But unfortunately for Elon Musk, he's lost how many billions because Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, have gone tits up at the moment. They've gone down and they're taking.
But did he? No, mine's going up. He must have done the wrong Bitcoin. There's two. There's a government-run one.
He tied Tesla to it, didn't he?
Yeah, but there's two Bitcoins, Michael. There's one that the government created, and there's one that was the original that Dr. Chris White, Nakamoto Samoso, whatever his name is. There's a lot of people in here that know more about it than I do. That one hardly goes up and down. Now I've had mine for 2 weeks now, and I think I'm about 8 quid up. But I'm not bothered about that.
How much did you put in though?
Not a lot, because it was all about.
Did you put more than £1,000 in?
No. No, I'm not going to say. But at the end of the day,
it's only you're talking to me now. There's nobody else listening.
Oh, that's all right then. No, I don't want to get hacked. No, and that won't happen. But the point is this: I can now, if ever I go to court and the judge says we find you guilty, you owe that man over there or that corporation over there, Mid Kent Water, whoever, what, 600 quid. I say, yeah, no problem. I get my phone out. I say, what are you doing? I'm just getting my my PayPal up. Can I have your wallet details so I can transfer it over? And at that point, they're finished. They are literally finished at that point. They can't accept it. They can't accept it because it's commodity. And when you go onto the Bitcoin thing, it says it's copper 999 troy ounce. It's a commodity. It's a metal-based currency, and it's fabulous. It really, really, really is. And coupled that with what I said at the beginning of the show, if we let whoever it is coming at us know that we are the beneficiary of the trust because we're the living, breathing thing, and we use that birth bond because all debts and obligations can be discharged via UCC 1-308 against that bond, because that's what that bond was created for. So no harm come against us. So we're really in a there's some really fabulous things going on right now, like really fabulous things. And I would encourage everyone to jump on that train of greatness and leave the darkness behind. I think the time for us now is to leave the darkness behind. Let us crack on. Let us carve out our new futures. Let's get behind the Bitcoin. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's starve these bankers. Let's let them start sweating for a change. And we can do this. We can absolutely, if we all grew our own food as well, become a bit self-sufficient, mate, and this world can change in a heartbeat. It really can.
Well, to be honest, Dave, the only people with inflation going the way it's going, the only people going to make any money are the banks. I mean, all they're doing, all we're putting the interest rates up, the banks just go like this. Let's take someone like Barclays. I think it's Barclays. They're paying 1.1% on their current on my savings, right? Now, at the moment, we think that interest rates will probably get to about 3.5%. And 3.5%, and at the moment it's about 1.5%, 2%, whatever it is, 1.5%. But they're paying 0.1%. I've got First Direct, and they're paying 0.45%. So basically, what they're saying is, for every £100 you got in the bank, you get £4. You get 4p. 4p, yeah, for every 100 quid. Wow. So, and they say, look at this. If you put £100,000 in the bank, can they get £90? And they think they're doing you a favour.
Look, when we've raped and dragged the last fish out the sea and cut down the last tree, we're going to realise that we can't eat money.
Well, exactly. Be honest with you, Dave. I sit here and I listen to this all day, and I read it and I see on the news, and you listen to these so-called pundits talking about money. I'm sick to death of listening to it, because I mean, it's like, we go on. Let's move on to tag. Let's go on to but Doris. Doris has now departed this place. Are we going to regret that or not? We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, Doris led the Conservative Party to the biggest majority they had for 70 years. You know, I mean, that is just an extraordinary feat that he did.
So we're led to believe.
In 3 years, he's gone. Now, whether you thought you liked him or he was a buffoon or anything else, he was a vote winner, and people warmed to him because they thought, "Oh, that's good. You know, this guy's a nutcase. You know, we the politics. We need someone to liven up politics," and he certainly did that. So much so that people became to fear him, and he became sort of stupid, and he got carried away with his own stupidity. But I mean, he's gone now. Now we're going to get, who do you think, Richie Sunak or Liz Truss? Now, I like Liz Truss. I think she'd be a good prime minister, but I don't think she's got it right the way she's suggesting that we should cut taxes immediately. Cutting taxes immediately will bring up interest.
But see, there's the problem, Mike, because government should never talk about money. Banks should talk about money. Government should talk about morals, not government. Parliament was built as a church, remember?
Yeah, indeed. But the thing is, Dave, Parliament is all about money.
But it shouldn't be. The point is, it shouldn't be.
So if you think about it, everybody in Parliament talks about how much it costs to run their departments. And they forget the most, as you said earlier, it's not their money. Now,
it's not their money, it's our money. But Parliament should be talking about on the TV only moral issues, like so-and-so got murdered today. What are we going to do about it? So-and-so got run over. What are we going to do about the roads? Let's go to the banks. They should never have the control of the purse strings, right? Because that comes down to separation of the power. We're supposed to have separation of power.
Yeah, but you're also making a real problem here, because if you give control of that to the banks can run right and do what they like.
Not if it's backed by commodity.
You need to have a governor on it. Now, the Bank of England is the governor, and I've known the last four.
But what's it say on the note, Mike? It just says, "I promise to pay."
Well, yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Dave. But what I'm saying is, if you gave control of the money policy to the banks, like the banks could do this, and the banks, we'd be in a terrible state. And we are. I mean, the thing is, we
are in a terrible state, though.
Yeah, it'd be even worse. if Liz Truss comes in and drops it and gives us all a big tax, she's going to push up inflation. Okay, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And then interest rates are going to be more and more and more. So you might have more money, but it'll suck that money that you just gained by inflation, which can't be good.
See,
however,
all you're talking about is issues of what they call an Ashkenazi banking fraternity, banking families. We don't need that. We've kicked them out before. We need to kick them out again.
Yeah, but look, let's go right back to how they got their money in the first place. Why did the Rothschilds become so rich? Because they funded every war that we could think, go back as far as the Crusades. So I mean, that's where they got their money from, and that's where the Jews got their money from, and that's why they're despised so much, because they made so much money, and that's avarice. You know, there's nothing wrong with making money. We all like making money. We all want to buy a nice house, or perhaps something we want to buy. I'd rather live in a hotel. But I mean, I like to have a million so I can live in a hotel, so I can pick the phone and go get me I want, and the air conditioning isn't working.
Keanu Reeves lives in a hotel mostly. Keanu Reeves, he does a lot of motorcycling, and have you seen him? We'll talk about the Hoover Dam in a second, but he gets up on the train, and if there's a woman needs to sit down, he'll sit down. If I get on a bus and there's an old deer stood there, I'll always stand up and say, "You have that chair, love."
Of course you do. But that's what our mums taught us to do. You know, yeah. It's right. And you know, you open the door for women. You know, if a woman's walking towards you, you know, you step into the curb, into the road, to let her walk past. That's just a normal thing to do.
Yeah. What do you make of the Hoover Dam? Do you know about the Hoover Dam explosion?
Well, I know that was under Roosevelt, and that's why that was built in the Depression.
You know, they've just had an explosion there in the last few days.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now, here's a very interesting fact, and you can call me loyal to the fall. You can call me a tin hat wearer. But if you fold a dollar bill, I don't know if it's a 10, 20, 50, or 100, in a certain way, you'll get a picture in it, in the artistry on that note, of the Hoover Dam in flames. And we've had it before with the Twin Towers. That when you folded a dollar bill together, people worked this back out in the early 2000s, 2001. That there's the Twin Towers blazing. Now, are these just all coincidences, or is there a mission here, a deep state mission? I think there is.
Are we going back to the Masons?
Well, I don't know as if it is the Masons, you know. The Masons, very open-handedly, I know a few of them, and they've told me and they've been quite sincere about it. They said, it's not us. We're not causing these problems. It's a different group of people. It's Ashkenazis. It's the Ashkenazis, the ones that are running out of Ukraine. They're all Ashkenazis. It's them that's causing all this problem. They're very wicked. Very wicked.
Explain to me what happened to the Hoover Dam. Has it been closed while it's been repaired, or?
I don't know if the Hoover Dam's been closed, but I know about 3 or 4 days ago in this hot weather, good reason to turn around and whatever. But yeah, the Hoover Dam, there's someone taking a picture of it above, and there's big flames and smoke funnel up in the air. I mean, Spearthrower would know about it. I'm pretty much, this is, here, look here. It was only a small bang at the dam. He's not really on it also, but he'll probably go away now, Spearthrower, and he'll get Jenny to do the old undercover discovery. You know, and but listen, on a lighter note, Alan's been with Swifty most of the week, and they've been catching fish.
Yeah, he showed me a picture of a large fish, and I asked him if that was his bloater, but he didn't respond to that for some reason. I don't know why he didn't respond to that, but he was rather pleased with it. I think he had a nibble, and I think he was feeling a little, what's the word, pleasing himself. It was a little nibble, so he was happy bunny. But
and that's lovely, isn't it?
They did look happy together, didn't they? They make a handsome couple. But yeah, so yeah, good luck to them. They seem to be having a nice time down there, and they seem to be enjoying it. So that's all that matters, isn't it?
Swift is a very funny man, isn't he?
Hey?
And that Dave Swift, he's very funny.
Yeah, funny. He's just one of those guys, isn't he? Just like, but it's nice to see Alan with a smile on his face, you know. So
yeah, getting away. There's like I've said, if anything happened to my missus, I couldn't stay here. I'd stay here and get things sorted, but I just wouldn't want to live here without it. It'd be like a ghost town, and I can't imagine. I wouldn't want to be. I'd be lonely. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know, but I certainly wouldn't stay here.
Well, that would be nothing to stay for, would it? Set the horses and you get rid of them, wouldn't you?
Well, the other thing as well is, what would I do with it? You know, it's if other people can see, this is what I'm all about. I know we can't own nothing, and we're all here for a short time and a good time, not a long time. So if something don't serve me and I can't get the complete benefit out of it, I'd rather somebody else come and experience and have that life and do that rather than me. I'm not big on ownership. I'm not big on.
That's what I've done. That's what I've done. I sold my house.
Yeah.
I'm going to rent now and just see what happens. Because to be honest with you, I'm 71. If I'm lucky, I've got 10 years, 12 years.
Oh, easy.
After that, then what? You know, what am I going to sit in a pile of shit and piss? I don't want to sit like
I
that.
might have, whilst it's on the tip of my brain, someone shared some pictures with me earlier on private messenger. These jabs that a lot of people have had, they've got graphene oxide in, as we know. Now, my mate's taken delivery today of a container. He's not got it. He's not had the jabs, but this particular blend of natural whatever will pull graphene oxide out your body and hopefully get rid of all the bits that's been put in there.
Really?
Yeah. I watched a documentary earlier. Someone sent it to me on one of these like Rumble channels, and it was that these things are now going in because they talk about it being messenger RNA, but this messenger RNA is actually going in and corrupting the DNA, and it's changing mankind. And if a man and a woman have a kid that have had it, then this kid will not be human. Quite sad, isn't it?
That's a bit worrying, isn't it?
It's going into the DNA. It's changing the DNA code.
The thing is, Dave, look at the way the world is. You can't. Nicola Shipface from Scotland. Fish lips. There she was talking about. She was asked to define what a woman is and all things like that. They can't do that. Then they said that a man that says he's a woman should be allowed to do what that. And women in Scotland, they're going berserk. How can I say I'm now a woman and go and compete against women? They probably, if I was to compete about a woman, I'd be, in a track or swimming or anything, I'd be sort of still swimming. They'd be sort of down the pub. But I mean, a fit man, a fit woman's got no chance against a fit man, a fit woman. You know, it's just not the way we're built. So how is it and why is it that what is it these politicians are trying to make us do? And in particular in America, where there
could be an exception there. Can we just exclude Fatima Whitbread from that conversation?
No. Okay. I can remember Tamara Press. She was an East German, and she really was. She was pretty.
Did she have a large pouch at the front there? Looked like she had a luncheon vouchers in it.
Yeah, she did. She was. Tamara Press was in the 60s. She was pretty. She had a moustache a lot, But yeah. She was Russian, and she was supposed to be, a woman, but it was definitely a man. But
hello, Taylor. Say hello to Jojo.
Hello, Jojo. Is that who's on there? The incredible shrinking man, or because he's tiny little thing? Look, tiny little thing on the screen there. That's a face shot. Hello.
The fuck, Mike? I'm not small. I'm huge, You
might be, but where's your picture? Where's your avatar's tiny, dear? I mean, we can't see your happy, smiling face, can we? Or haven't you had a shave today?
I haven't had a shave, man. I've been living rough for the last few weeks. Come on, give us a break.
Give you a break, mate. As long as you've got a little bit of right guard, it don't matter, does it?
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
What are we up to, Jojo? What are we up to?
Not a lot, Dave. Not a lot. Where do you get that book you just had, Paul?
I just got these ones actually come from Amazon. There's two. There's one called Meet Your Straw Man. Everything you need to know. And this one is the UCC connection. Here, what I'll do, as you've just come in, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I want you to listen to this this call with child services in America. All right. This is invaluable information, and I mean invaluable, and that's what we're here for. All right. It's nice to have a little general chit chat, but why is that not playing? Hang on, here we go. Let me see if I can play this. No, that's not it. Oh, where's it gone? Have I just got rid of it? Oh, it ain't just gone off my screen, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. I'll have to try and find it again. But okay, let's cancel that. The this was a woman, American woman, and she was standing up for this mother. And my God, it was fabulous. And she gave them such a dressing that they withdrew. They withdrew and said there's not enough information for us to bring this to court's attention. So, yeah, there's a lot of people winning out there now. Look, and rightly so, because when we're uninformed and we don't know, we get smashed. So, as that says on the front of that book, happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that getteth understanding, and that's from the book of Proverbs. So, yeah, I don't know how you're getting on, Jojo. What's happening on the front with the child?
Oh, fuck me. Let's not go there again, Paul.
Okay, we'll leave that one.
It's not good there. As you know, like I have an SGO for my grandson,
Yes.
and that's sealed, isn't it? It's sealed after 3 years. So they've asked me, could they have it? Social services, could they have his records? I say, you go fuck yourselves, not a fucking hope in hell.
Good for you.
So what they done last week is they got my daughter's solicitor to ring, and the solicitor turned around and said, "Oh, will your daughters give permission?"
Oh,
Yeah, and I said, "Well, Joanna, not on your fucking Nelly. He's
good.
not that SGO has nothing to do with my daughter. You're not having them. Period."
Good.
So what did they go and do? They've gone to the fucking judge, mate, and petitioned the judge for them.
Look, this site, successors.ca, which I'm on at the minute, I can show you the website. It goes on, it's got some it's called the Law of Property Act. Now, what we got to understand is we're property, we're the land, we're the living, breathing land, right? And the the Law of Property Act says that property has to stay within the bloodlines. It has to pass down to your heirs, your family. Fucking hell, we've gone so badly wrong. And it clearly tells you that government cannot own anything, not a thing. They can't own anything because it's not theirs to own. It's ours. We're the beneficiaries. If you start using words like I'm the beneficiary of the trust and here's the bond that proves I'm the beneficiary of the trust, and that you as a solicitor are impersonating and bringing fraud upon this court. No man has the right to speak for you. No man, it says there's a maxim in law. He who speaks through another acts for himself. So they're responsible. That's a maxim in law. That's a maxim in law. So, mate, I'd get going after him. I really would.
Oh, I am, but it was one of them that I mean, I know what you just said is 100% true because I already proved that.
Good.
I had an incident. I won't go into it, but a few years back with the same solicitor. And I just turned around and I said, "I am the beneficiary."
Amen.
I said, "You might not think you know what you wrote on that SGO order, but I do. I am beneficiary. You made me beneficiary."
Yeah.
And there was a few other things, but now you see, it was getting to the point that, to be honest, that Joanne was getting scared for our grandson. We would have to protect what we have, if you like.
Amen.
I don't like the saying, but we wanted to protect him, but we also want to protect harmony. But we had to do it in a manner that he's totally safe.
Mm.
So my plan now is to petition the court myself. I've had a chat with my daughter, and I think the road I'm going to go down is that she's going to give up her property, so she has nowhere to be with this particular person. that she's going to live with us, and I will take an undertaking with the court that if in the next 2 years, we'll say, she stops living with us with Harmony, we would report to the court immediately.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I'm not. I know I'm begging, and I understand that.
No, you're good.
But I'm trying to play them in a way where, if they refuse me, they have to come up with a damn good fucking reason, because she's already lived with us for 18 months with no issue.
Yeah.
So
man.
they can't turn around and say there's an issue, because I know there fucking isn't one. But because I had a ding dong with the solicitors, I'm a little bit. I won't say scared, because I'm scared of fuck all. That's not the word. I'm a bit
apprehensive.
Yes, in risking a child's life with my words.
Amen.
And the first thing I always learned is I can't speak their language. I don't use big words. I'm a simple man. I must use simple words.
And if you demand that, and you say you need a court that uses plain English, they will come out in white gowns.
Right.
They won't come out in black gowns. Plain English. You don't understand their language. We don't understand what's going on there. Now, within this book and within the UCC, it clearly says that whenever you get into conflict with the system or there's stuff flying either way, you need to have a proper understanding and definition of the words that are being used. So whatever words that they're writing to you with, get them to send you their definitions and the context in what how they're using them, because you need to be crystal clear, and everybody needs to be crystal clear. Now, if you go into a Crown Court case, now I've seen this before. I see this barrister open this big paper that was sealed in the middle, and it went up 4 ways. It was like one of these little things. And he had his case, and he had his summarizations, but then he had a thesaurus, and he had all the big words, and he had the bloody definitions of them. And I was like, you kinky bastards. Yeah. So if he uses the word fuck, it will be defined in the context of how they've used it. Like, oh, fuck, I've just hit me thumb. Or, oh, fuck, I've just missed that car that was coming at me at 1,000 mile. Or, oh, fuck, I've just won the pools. All got different connotations and contexts. One can be for joy. One can be for damn right pain. But in the UCC, you need them in the UCC to get them to define their words.
Yeah, that's our problem.
You've got them, and then you've got them.
We try to use their words against them, and we're not capable.
You won't win.
We won't win. We have to keep it simple. Super simple, you know. And like you said, your dictionary. Well, what dictionary are you using, Paul? Because you ain't using Collins's dictionary.
No, I would say and suggest that before you enter that vessel, that you're using Oxford Dictionary English and definitions of the word.
There's a legalese dictionary, isn't there?
You don't want it. You don't want it because we're not trained in it, are we?
No, but it'll give you all the definition of the words again.
Yeah, but why would you want to use legalese? We weren't taught legalese at school. We was taught the Oxford Dictionary.
What I'm saying is it'll give you the definitions of the
Here's the thing. They put you at a disadvantage. And when you let them know that are you putting me at a disadvantage by using acronyms and a language that I don't understand? Yeah. Because there cannot be no fairness in this. If you're using that, that's coercive slavery. And that's why this book is flipping marvelous, because the words it uses in there are amazing. The way they deal with their court cases in these books is they've never lost. It's worked 100% of the time. They sack the solicitor. They take the birth certificate in. They give it to the solicitor and say, "No, you're pretending to be me." That's the solicitor done. He's gone. He's finished. Because otherwise, you're going to bring fraud on the court. Do you have first-hand knowledge? No, they don't. The solicitor have first-hand knowledge. He doesn't.
Well, that's where they have you. The very fact of giving your name is your very first problem.
We never give names because that's
consent. You're just a man or a woman. End of. You are not whatever the representation of a piece of paper is. If you want to be that, then you take that on.
Be the man, be the beneficial interest owner in this bond and go, there's the birth certificate, certified copy and entry. I'm the beneficial and interested party in that, and they will ship a brick.
My plan is to remove what I own, if you like, to safety first, and then I'm going gunning.
What it says in this book, when it comes to court cases, it says write down what it is you're going to do and what you're going to say, because when you get in there, you're going to get a little bit scared. And you're going to have a few trouser farts. So if you stick to what you write down and you don't move from it, it says here, if they want you to answer to the name, do not answer to any name. If they say Mr. whatever your name is while they're talking to you, say, I am not that person. I am the beneficiary, and I reserve all of my rights per UCC 1-308, because that court is working under UCC. Why? Because if you look at the back of this book, it gives you the maxims of commercial law. In commerce, truth is sovereign, right? And it says here, commercial maxims, all are equal under the law. So you can't mess with commerce. Commerce is what keeps this whole world afloat. But you can certainly learn the rules of engagement. And these books for £4 each on Amazon, Meet Your Straw Man and the UCC Connection. And it says here, How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny. I'll tell you what, brilliant books. Really, really good. Really, really good. Bible and application. See, the Bible as well, to rely on that in a court is you can do it, but it's not that jurisdiction. Equity is kind of, it has to merge. It is the highest form of law is equity. But why do we common people have to know the ins and outs and the work? It's like, let's say, for instance, Mike wants a bathroom fitted, and he's seen some pictures and he thinks, oh, bloody hell, I like that. And then he rings me, I'm the bathroom specialist, and I've been doing it for 30 years. And he says, can you fit my bathroom? I say, yeah, mate, no problem. We'll have a deal, and then I'll go in and do it. He knows I'm doing it, and he knows I'm doing it for the best interest of him and his family and his property. But does he know how at the inner workings of how my brain's working, how I'm putting things together? No, he's trusting me. And I guess working with my hands over the years has led me to this, how I am today. You know, we build things, we make things. Now, whether that be physical or mental, we're builders. I'm a builder. So if I don't understand their system, I'm at a disadvantage. Now, that birth certificate was given to us as to be a benefit. So I will insist to them, I need to see the benefit. Why are you trying to strip? And this is where we go from. Why are you trying to strip my family? Why are you trying to asset strip us? Why are you involved in a soft kind of genocide? What the hell's going on here? What the hell is going on here? I need to know. And at that point, they start turning away from you and going, oh, well, we best leave this one alone. You've got to have that voice of fire in you.
The first step is I'm going to sack the solicitor.
Good. We'll take your birth certificate in and give him the birth certificate and say, are you claiming to be me? Are you bringing fraud upon the court? Because you don't have first-hand knowledge. You don't have first-hand knowledge. You have hearsay. That's all I have is hearsay.
Yeah.
We believe that the child might suffer with this. Hearsay. It's all hearsay. It hasn't happened.
No.
We could say that the Twin Towers was going. If the Twin Towers were still standing today, tomorrow the Twin Towers might come down by some terrorist attack. Yeah, it might happen, but it ain't happened yet. So it's hearsay. It's hearsay. You need material facts and evidence.
Presumption and assumption, isn't it?
There you go. But the presumption is they're playing the position of you. So if you get this book, I would say that the best one you need right now is the UCC connection, because all these courts are operating under UCC. In 1930s, they moved everyone into UCC, whether you like it or you don't. That's the law. The UCC is the law. And when you reserve all of your rights, they're obliged to follow the code. They can't go against the code.
No, they're not allowed to.
No, they're not allowed to. No.
It's their sick code, isn't it? And that's the sickness of it. They won't tell you about it, but if you know it, and you don't, you see, this is the thing. We don't have to know it all. It's not about being know it all, because it's better in one sense to be in and I don't know what you're talking about. I have no clue. I have no understanding of anything you're talking about.
Yeah.
We must use simple. I'm a simple man. We will use simple words.
Simple
Words
English.
with words with one meaning and one meaning only.
And we all need to be in agreement of the definitions of
I
the
should have
word.
them words. Yes. Yeah.
You need, because otherwise the judge might say, yeah, no problem. And you might say a word like corner, and your definition of the word corner in your brain might mean something, but in his brain might mean something completely different. And in the clerk, it might mean something different. Mate, with these court cases, you need to nail the words and you need the definitions of the words and contexts in how they're using them. Trust me, you really do. And at that point, they're going to go, oh, okay. Now, my mate was in court quite a few years ago because he called a copper a cunt and told him to F off. And when the court case came, he went in there and this judge or whoever was going, oh, do you recognise that man stood there with that? He said, yeah, I do. Yeah. He said, yeah. He said, right. He said, fabulous. He said, on such and such a day, did you call him a cunt? He went, yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. You best believe it. Yeah, I did. And he said, oh, okay, cool. No problem there. He said, did you at such and such a time tell him to F off? He said, yeah, I did. And before the judge could go any further, my mate said, would you like me to give you the Oxford Dictionary definitions of the words and the context in which I used them? And the judge went, next case, thanks for coming, free to go, have a nice day. And the policeman didn't have a clue what was going on. He was stood there going, what just happened? He, to this day, he probably still don't understand what happened.
Well, the police are just trained to be bullies. They're not trained in anything except how to steal. No, they just steal from you.
They don't know.
They're not there for our best interest. No. They don't have our best interests at heart.
Well, I've been working recently, Jojo, up near Kent Police Headquarters, and the bathroom.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, it's like I've got a little bit from it, you see, because I've been looking over, calling them all psychos because they're all screaming at one. I'm going, oh, you're a bunch of psychopaths, but none of them come round and see me. But the point is this: there was a few days before I finished the job, and I got the window open. I can hear this left, right, squad, stop, and I'm thinking, it's a bloody army. They square bash them. They're square bashed. These new recruits, these police, they're square bashed like the army square bashes people, and it takes all of their. It doesn't take all their humanity out of them, mankind. It doesn't, and you can reach a copper if you're nice and polite, and you can peel away that uniform with just being nice. I'm not suggesting it's going to work all the time, but most of the time it does. But trust me when I say the police are army. They are not who we think they are. They are a standing military force.
Well, funny you say that. I was watching a video on YouTube the other day of Charlie Vitek. Do you ever watch him? Ever seen him?
Charlie Veach. I know Charlie. He's a nice fella.
Right. Well, if you look at the one he done the day before yesterday, I think in Manchester, the police were trying to recruit, and they had all their different uniforms out. And you want to see this fucking latest one, man?
Looks like army, yeah.
Yeah, no, with all this armored plating on the legs, on the full on paramilitary fucking clobber, man. And it was like, wow, where's that come out of? That wasn't just an exercise in recruiting. That was getting people used to seeing what's coming.
There you go.
People in this kind of uniform are going to be coming to your door soon.
Yeah.
It was Dave. You want to have a look. The last couple of days it was. I can't remember what. Maybe Thursday. Oh, we're on Thursday. Tuesday, maybe he done it. But you want to have a look at. You want to have a look at that fucking uniform, man, because it was something. Yeah, it was something now. It was something now with space tech, man.
What I see with Charlie the other week, he was walking down through Manchester, and all of a sudden, a very swankily dressed Tyson Fury walks up alongside him, and Tyson, I think, says, "I watch you, Charlie, on YouTube." So, guys, let me tell you, this thing that we get involved in, you'll be surprised who watches. It is quite funny. We got Right Said Fred, Richard Fairbrass. I know Richard quite well. We've got Chico Time, Chico Slamani. There's loads of them. and that now that are really banging the drum. We've got Matt Letitia, he's speaking out like there's no tomorrow. And there was a classic the other week from Liam Gallagher. Gary Lineker was getting a bit of stick because he was at a certain stadium up in Scotland or something. And he tweeted out and he turned around and said, "Cool," he said, "I'm getting a bit of stick up here because of so-and-so." And Liam Gallagher replied, he said, "Could it be that it's because you're just a massive bellend?"
Yeah.
And
he is.
Yeah.
Did you hear that interview he done with two other? And he was, when I was young, I got racially abused.
Yeah. Well, there's photos of his mum and dad come out now in the old black and white minstrel show, and he's not happy about it. Bless his heart.
And he said that he was racially abused as a footballer, as a professional footballer.
See, and this is the lending of the media and the political sway. It's just one big machine now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge.
When you look at football, why football's about grown men playing with their balls on a pitch of grass, kicking a sack full of air around, and hopefully getting more goals than another team. When did it all become about politics? When did it become about getting and driving a message home about getting down on one knee and showing your arse cheeks? What the hell has that got to do with football?
And they've swapped the pride. They swapped the pride of playing for their country with the pride of a liberal left virtue signaling agenda.
I don't look. It's tough. I always try and be measured in what I do. I'm not here to possibly offend anyone, and I'm not suggesting anyone talking tonight is offending anybody. But I won't get involved in all these BBC agendas over sexualism and transgenderism. It's not on my radar. I won't even, if I see it come on my screen, I turn it off. If I hear a load of people banging on about it, I walk the other way. I can't be doing with it. And I tell you for why. The transgender stuff and all these other bits and bobs that are going on now, why does the system promote it and let it get away with it? Firstly, they want to get rid of men and women. They want us to not be in our natural state as a man or a woman, right? Because that way we're close to God. And the second one is that they make a shitload of money out of someone calling someone a black this or someone calling someone a white this. It's very easy pickings when you're picking up a claim form and you're doing a money claims online or whatever. The judiciary is sitting back going, fabulous. We're making loads of money. And that's the reason why they won't come out for a burglary and stuff like that, because there's easy ways of skinning a cat. And that is what look, when people were getting these fines a couple of years ago from being out in the street because they were curfewed in England, you can't be out on this street. You're not allowed to. Boris has said you've got to stay home and get locked down. There was a company called Acro, right? Saying like Acro prop, saying you prop up. We dug into Acro because we know that they're limited companies. So we go online, we check out who they are. We go into the directors, we find out who the individual with priority control. One chief constable and 4 police constables own a limited company called Acro. So all the money that people are out there paying goes to that limited company. It gets swindled off and they get bigger houses and bigger fucking cars. It's about time the people of England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales realise they're being fucked up the arse. It's about time you realised it.
Yeah. I mean, the very act of speaking causes offence now.
But it'd be some money. If you took the money element, if you said to the courts, right, tomorrow, any of this gets resolved between the people and the parties in the community, you're not profiting from this, they wouldn't back it. They wouldn't sponsor it. They'd be like, oh, no, we're not interested in none of that. But follow them, no matter what it is you want to get to, whether it's a child issue with the courts and the children courts, follow the fucking money, because that's what it's all about.
Always been. Money is what they brought in to corrupt the corruptible.
There you go.
And if money is your goal in life, then you are by virtue corrupt.
There you go.
Because you can't follow that God. That's not for us.
It's Balaam. It's a false prophet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
But
with you.
do you know, I was in Morrison's the other day and I took offence. I've got to say, I was
What things did
walking.
you take?
I was walking down an aisle, and at the end of an aisle there was this rack with cases of beer in it, and it said support the Ukraine war. Every can counts. I mean, like the only peas that you're supposed to be selling in here is produce and products, not fucking propaganda.
But that just shows you that government and industry. Mussolini was once asked, "What's the definition of fascism?" And he turned around and said, "The definition of fascism is when industry and government come together hand in common purpose to wage war against the people." We're right there, right now. People can't see it. People can't
No,
see it. I can. I can. I can see it.
but why can we see it and so many can't?
Um, I don't know. That's a very, very
I
good
mean,
question.
is it? I don't believe, Dave. I don't believe for 1 minute it's just dumb ignorance. I can't believe that because
No.
every human that's on this planet is intelligent. Every one of us are intelligent.
It's only
In what?
when
In
it's only when the system goes against the grain and goes against an individual or a family or something happens to you that you feel really incensed about, and it'll nag you. It'll be like a little sore on your butt cheeks. You keep scratching it until you think, fucking hell, I can't take them. I've got to get to the bottom of this. And that's all that happened with me. If I didn't have an intercourse with the Inland Revenue years ago, where they took me into a private room and were throwing paper files at me, it was like a scene out of a fucking Laurel and Hardy movie. There was papers flying through the air and they're telling me to sign them. I'm like, no, I ain't doing nothing, you say. And they're saying, you're not leaving the building. I'm like, fabulous. What we got for dinner? Because I like a bit of steak. And they were getting, I could see they wanted to clobber me. I could see that they wanted to kick the shit out of me because I wasn't playing their game. And when I left that office, morally, it hurt. And I thought, I've got to figure this out. But if that hadn't have happened, I probably wouldn't be in there talking to I am or waking the country up. Because I did say to them when I was leaving, I went to quite a clever school. I said to this woman, I said, "No, I don't know how you get control over us just yet. But when I do, I'm going to make it fucking rain on you people and bring you to your knees." And we're doing it right now. Met in Warren, bless his heart, the other day. Was talking last night. I had to turn off at about 11:15 because I needed to go to sleep. They was at his door a few years ago for £90,000. And he told them, fuck off. I'm not taking your paperwork. Don't have to do you. And this is what's happening. They've got too greedy. They're going too hard. When they was being fairly fair with it all, no one was paying attention. We didn't care. We was happy to give them a few £100 a year just to shut them up, mate. And we're in the illusion that it's keeping the country going. Little did we know that it was off to that fucking place that goes through Washington, D.C., and it goes to the District of Columbia. That's where all your tax money's going. It's going to the District of Columbia. It's all being siphoned and pilfered off. And we're left with a little bit to manage the roads and do bits and bobs. But trust me, on the scale that people pay and contribute to this system, it's all going to the District of Columbia. There must be some very wealthy people having some lovely, lovely lives out there, because it's certainly not in this country, and it's certainly not benefiting us, the people. We're being raped to fuck. We really are.
That's where the money comes from to keep us going, isn't it? On your fines. It's not on your taxes. Your taxes are already spoken for.
If you took,
It's on the fines that they levy on us.
if you took, if you took the court's ability to make money and handle money away, if you took the police's ability to look, does the fire brigade handle money? No, they get paid a wage. They're not corrupt. They come out, like Mike said at the beginning of the show, they put the fire out, they do this, they do that, they make sure your porno mags don't get too badly burnt, and they won't trespass on you. But any of these government agencies that are involved in money and financial issues are corrupt beyond belief. Yeah. And that's the issue. That's the issue.
They're the only service I have faith in now. I have to say.
Mate. Same as.
Because the NHS is just whatever it is. It's gone. It's not what it was supposed to be. Definitely. Well,
when you look at the NHS, you know, a bag of chemotherapy, which is basically mustard gas, £8,000, and everyone makes excuse. Oh, it's because of the technology and design and the research. Bollocks! It's basically mustard gas. It ain't fucking rocket science. Why is a little bag of that costing £8,000 a time, and the taxpayer keeps paying and paying and paying? The national debt keeps going up and up and up. The national debt clock is going up £5,760 odd pound a second.
Yeah.
And people say, cut the pensions, cut this. Unless we've got fucking massive, strong delusions in our minds, we need to come to some certain truths that this system is fucked and it's gone. And we need to do something about it.
And you've just said the very word that really matters, Dev, system. System means fucking sewer.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
We're living in a sewer. We're paying for a sewer, and we're paying for pigs like the fucking trough, who have no more interest in your well-being than the man in the fucking moon.
They don't. They've sold their soul. That book, UCC Connection, will tell you that they've sold their soul to Balaam. They've sold their soul to the devil. Let them crack on. Let them inherit that shit, man. They're certainly not having me. And I must admit that we're bringing people to the fold now. People are waking up exponentially. So many now. Like, I can't believe the conversations that people are having in pubs and restaurants and just out and about. I'm earwigging thinking, bloody hell. They're all these. I've got friends of mine with young kids. They want to go and kill Boris because he's ruining their lives because their mortgage and their gas and electric's too much. And they're literally seething at the teeth. And they're saying, if I didn't have a wife and kids right now, I'd be out trying to top the bastard. And I'm like, I don't want to see that. I genuinely don't want to see anyone lose their life. But a lot of my friends are like that.
And if people wonder, is that really true? You better believe it, because they're thinking about fucking locking you down again. And that's why there's too much chatter. There's too much talk.
What would you do next time, Mike, if they do another lockdown?
They ain't going to do another lockdown.
They are going to do another lockdown.
There won't be another lockdown.
There will be another lockdown.
No, there won't be. No, there won't be. There can't
All
be.
right. There will be.
Yeah, I was sitting listening. You'll be talking about money and everything else. At some point, you could be pays the piper, calls the tune, but the piper must be paid. And this country, like most countries now, America, we're so in debt now. We pay more out in debt interest than we do to pay for our defence. So I mean, you cannot continue to lock a country down like this and deny the economy of the country to go even further down the toilet it's already gone. So no, there won't be enough. What there will be a massive drive to try and poison us all by sticking more into our jails, by frightening the life out of poor suckers that even now are walking around in the sunshine with a mask on. And I looked at one woman. I said, "Why are you wearing a mask?" "Oh, COVID." I said, "There is no. What do you mean COVID? And what do you mean? Explain to me what?" And they just walk away from you. "Oh, I'm not getting in an argument with you over it." I said, "Well, there's no argument, is it? I think you're just stupid, because masks do nothing."
You do know the stats that came out today. Boris resigned.
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
The day fucking Bojo the clown, who brushes his hair with a balloon, that's for Roy out there. But you do know the stats that came out that day.
Wow.
94% of people that are sick and in hospital with COVID at the minute are jabbed. 90% of that 94% are triple jabbed.
Yeah.
50% of the population refused the booster, and 18.9 million people in this country have had fuck all.
I knew a lot of us didn't have it. I knew it. I knew there was loads of us that didn't have it.
Yeah, 18.9.
Yeah, the only reason I had it because I was going to live in America.
Well, we can get you sorted out, Michael. I'll get you some of that stuff. Don't worry. We're getting the graphene out.
All I'm saying, for me, it's always about genocide. It's all about, it all goes back to the WEF and their assertion that there's too many people on the planet. Let's kill a few billion because that's ridiculous, and that's how it is. I mean, the general consensus of opinion is that most populations are declining. People just don't have the baby. The sperm count's low, and so
sperm count's really low.
It is. Yeah. And now India has now become the biggest populated, well, will just about become the most populous with 1.9 billion people on it in the subcontinent. Now, if you take the size of China and then you take the size of India, you wonder how they all fit in. But then again, they did say at one point, they did say at one point that the population of the world stacked together would fit on the Isle of Wight. Now, really? Yeah, that's many years ago. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But that's what they say. So, and if you look at if they say this is an overcrowded world, no, it isn't. It's just badly planned. There is a lot of space that can be reclaimed, can be used. If you take all the deserts in the world, but all green. They can all be irrigated. We've got the technology. It all comes down to money. You could quite reasonably reclaim a lot of the desert and everything else, just like create another Nile on the other side of Africa and irrigate the water.
Well, look what I've just bought. Look what I've just bought. I've just bought a pair of boxing gloves.
Yeah, we know what they're for.
I've thrown all my hard porn away because they say in 2 years unvaccinated sperm's going to be the new Bitcoin.
Can I just say something to you? Are they sticky? Are they sticky? They're sticky, aren't they?
But just a quick note there, Mike. You know, apparently for people that have been jabbed, milk thistle.
Milk thistle, good for the liver. Cleans the liver out.
Yeah, it's supposed to be very good to get rid of graphene, apparently.
Yeah.
I think Mike drinks enough alcohol to deal with that side of things anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I didn't say that about pickling, Dave. I was talking about cleansing.
Hang on a second. What I never understand about this is, why is it people die of, people say, oh, it's really bad here. I mean, if you're going to preserve something, you put it in alcohol, don't you? Mm-hmm. So why is it, if you're putting a lot of alcohol inside you, right, you get sick? Is there something wrong with the way that these people explain to us? Because I drink loads, and I'm 71, and touch wood, I'm quite reasonably healthy sort of little sod, and I still get a raspberry ripple from time to time, but that's beside the point. But I have to say that it's comfortable to explain to me when I sat and drank 6 Vespa martinis, that is 3 shots of Tanqueray 10, a shot of Grey Goose vodka, skin of Lillet, shaken over ice or twisted lemon. I drank 6 of them. That's 24 shots of alcohol, and I got home safely.
Is that when you was in London and you rang me up and was getting squiffy with me the other day?
Was I pissed? When was that? Oh yeah, was I pissed on the other day?
You was telling me you loved me and that you were mate.
I love all my friends. Particularly when I'm pissed. Absolutely. But I mean, the thing is, when you're on the train, it's interesting. On the train home, you've got an hour. So you sit there, you look at your phone and go, who can I ring up and annoy? And it's like, half past 12, and you're on the last train, so you go, I know. Some bird I ain't spoken to about 4 years, sort of thing, and you ring her up. And this is what you do. And they go, who the fuck's this?
I don't do stuff like that. Anyway. We're at 10:15, gentlemen. We need your summarisations for tonight's show, and I want to thank you first for all tuning in tonight. What we got to say?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I mean, the thing is, we're looking forward to a new Prime Minister. I just hope that the Prime Minister, whoever it is, chooses right, because if we get it wrong, we're going to have to put up with 4 fucking years of Keir Starmer and that fat dog, Emily Thornberry.
Let me hang on, Mike. I'm just about to record you. Start again, because I'm going to play this to you in 2 years' time when you're calling them all cunts and you want to get out of here.
No, you don't have to, because she's. I mean, Emily Thornberry. I tell you, I'll give you a story.
No, come on.
Well, she's a fat old dog. Hey, she's a lady. She's married to a dog.
She's a lady.
Anyway, I was doing the counting in Islington when in her constituency in one of the elections, and she walked in like she was God, and she was pushing people out of the way. I'm so important. And then she gave her speech, and then she fucked off. And that's what she thinks. We all know what she thinks of us. And the Labour Party don't think anything. The working man, all they do is take £100 million over the last few years off the unions. As far as I'm concerned, the Labour Party, all they do is they come in, spend everything, do everything, fuck it all up, and then you can the service have to come and put it right. And
I've missed out here by not recording that, to be honest with you. Go on, Jojo, your turn, darling.
Well, all I gotta say to people out there is please stand in your truth and learn the most important fucking word in the dictionary in the world today, and learn to use it with confidence. The word fucking no.
No. Yes, mate. Yeah,
no,
I agree.
simple as.
Hang on. When you say no, are we talking about women here?
Michael. The ladies are lovely. We have some very lovely ladies watching this show. I'll have you know, they're very sophisticated. They get out the bath to take a piss. Yes, they do. Anyway, we're off, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Michael tonight for turning up looking as glamorous as ever. Jojo, he's got his little black thing going on there. And Jojo, I wish you all the best. Find yourself, get this book, my friend. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Beautiful to see you all.
Good night. God bless. Take care. I'll see you, Dave. I'll see you soon. Come over. Breakfast.
Hey, Dave, are both them books on Amazon? Both of them.
Brilliant. You only really need the UCC one, but study it and use it because UCC 1-308, mate, they can't go against that.
And that's on Amazon.
Yeah, just get this one and you'll learn how to deal with solicitors. You'll learn how to take the birth certificate in and give it to them and tell them you're the beneficiary. And you'll do it with confidence as well. And you'll fuck them right up. You really will. Anyway, we're off. Take care, guys. We love you all. God bless every single one of you.
Good night. Mate. God bless everybody.
Yeah, we love you all. God bless you all.